Hello and a good Monday morning to you, my Sugar Puff Squirrels of swirly twirly caramel latte exuberance. Coffee cheers to you. May was weird and here we are in June. So pour yourself a cup of coffee for our first weekly reading book review of the month of June 2025, I believe is the year we're in. And let's talk about books and stories. Cool? Okay, so I did manage to finish 2 books this week. The first of which, Lisa C., The Island of Sea Women. I talked about this last week. Whoo, it was a hard read. Great book club discussion. We were very now informed about the tragic history of Korea, specifically the tiny island of Jeju. Everyone in the group said they would recommend it, but with caveats of this is hard to read. So there are so many trigger warnings: abusive relationships, war crimes, death of children, suicide ideation, etc., etc., etc. Mostly the injustice and inhumanity of it all is what kills me. And yeah, so this was well done, Lisa C., historical fiction, but based on so much research. So again, read if you can handle it, I guess, or if you want to, but historical fiction, Island of Sea Women. We're reading something fluffier next month, I promise. So, book club. Bye. Okay, to cleanse my palate, I read Romance Rivalry, The Romance Rivalry by Susan Lee. This was my May indie bookstore pre-order, so it's signed, is why I'm scanning pages. Look, she wrote my name. Yay, thank you. Thank you, Susan. This is YA contemporary rom-com. It's by the title, and each chapter header is a trope, and it was so good. So there was a little bit of language and a little bit of spice, so older teen appropriate. Also, this probably, I love the cover art too, by the way, just 8 stars for the cover art, and the title, and the chapters are captions. Anyway, they are both social media bookfluencers in the romance category, and they end up at the same college. So it is new adult, as in it's freshman semester even of college. You can guess what happens because it's a rom-com, but it was delightful. So thoroughly enjoyed that one. Thank you, Susan, for writing it, and thank you for having something fluffy for me to read after the other one. Cool. Also Koreans, but you know, different context. Okay, I also read from my giant TBR stack recent picture books that I got from my used bookstore that just needed to be in my collection. So I'm a huge fan of Hilary Knight. He illustrated the Eloise books, among many others, and this is his Owl and the Pussycat. And just good gracious, this man is good at backgrounds. I am not, but cute little fluffy. Very much, if you know Molly Idle's work, the figures have that same kind of round bounciness and movement, and I love it. I also read LON PO PO by Ed Young, the Chinese Red Riding Hood tale. Kids' books used to be creepier in the 80s, so that's fun. Might have been 90, but close. Anyway, and YEH-SHEN, the possibly original Cinderella, because it was at least the millennia before a version of this made it to Europe, with the Cinderella we know. So this was lovely. There's a magic fish that her stepmother, and every illustration, not only is it in like these like Chinese panels, if you've seen, you know, Chinese art, usually they're in like the scrolls, but every illustration is like within the shape of a fish somehow. Lovely. Amazing. So hooray for, you know, I'm a fairy tale nerd, or maybe this is news to you, but it's kind of why I started Instagram, was with my fairy tale feet series, when I would research every version of fairy tales before I painted them. That's a different story. Anyway, read YEH-SHEN. Cool. Okay, that's what I finished. Also, it was a slower book week because I spent the holiday on Monday with my friend Ruth from my writing group, and we watched not High School Musical 2, but the second season of High School Musical, the series. I'm just a fangirl. It's just everything of my vibe. So it's not on DVD because it's streaming, and what world do we live in? But here's my DVD of the original OG High School Musical 2, but we watched season 2. I cannot wait for her to meet Adrian Lyles in season 3 when they go to camp. Also watching Project Runway season 19, because that's just who I am. So we have 3 more challenges until Fashion Week, and I am only 100 pages. This is the book, guys. This is The Stolen Queen by Fiona Davis. I have not read her work before, and I'm sorry, a very loud truck just drove by and the birds are chirping about it. Anyway, The Stolen Queen, Fiona Davis. This is set at the Met as well as in Egypt. So it's a slower read than Isabella Bonier's What the Library Hides series. I always forget. What the River Knows. Yeah, that, I always confuse their titles. But anyway, if you're into Egyptology, if you like behind the scenes at the Met, it's me, including the Met Gala in the 70s. This may be the book for you. So we have alternate timelines. We have more than one character that we're following in the chapters. And it's kind of like, I feel like it wasn't until the midpoint that like something happens. Like we have a lot of setup, which is fine. You know, I am for breaking the formula of Western storytelling when it's like, okay, I'm halfway through something that's gonna happen and then there's a third act breakup, and you know, I can't stand formulas. So this is interesting for that. Also, I'm just invested because, you know, I love the Met and I love Egyptology and art heist. Bad guys. So we're gonna find how all that comes together probably in the last 100 pages, I would imagine. Okay, reading next, perhaps. So at book club that I lead at my local stationery store, where we read The Island of Sea Women, for June's book pick, I had people bring a cozy mystery or a cozy fantasy, and this one was kind of both. We had to go to a tiebreaker, and we picked, pardon me, while I look to my left and see the name of the book we picked, Live and Let Shy, which is a cozy mystery. But this one was also brought, and the person who brought it let me borrow it because tiebreaker, and the other one won, but with a coin toss, actually. Anyway, this is A Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking by T. Kingfisher, and it just sounded amazing. So I'm gonna read that one and get it back to you, Taylor. Thanks. Looking forward to that one. This one also has just been sitting on my side table for like a year, and my friend Danae lent this to me. I think it's from Weekly Reader Books. Yeah, she found it at the thrift store and said she loved it. So I'm gonna read that teeny tiny little thing that's not gonna take me any time at all, but I will get that back to you, Danae. Again, this is The Big Bazoohley by Peter Carey. So much fun. Totally looks like Narnia, doesn't it? I'm excited. Yeah, we'll find out what all that means. And I also have these nonfiction books I need to read. I was in a bit of a spiral yesterday, and my husband helped me through it. Anyway, Ego is the Enemy, Ryan Holiday. He stole it from me. He finished it. I get it back. Get to finish that one. And I need this one in my life. I made a web diagram of things I got going on in my life, and I will be having a counseling session with my literary agent today. For how to focus on like, everyth's good, but what do I need to be like channeling the little energy I do have towards. So this is Deep Work by Cal Newport. One of those dude bros productivity books maybe, but maybe not productivity, maybe just like doing good work, and we'll find out. This also changed Evelyn Skye's life. She said this was one of her big like breakthrough moments. So Hallie needs that. Okay, and I stole that one from my husband. So anyway, coffee cheers to you. I would love to know what stories you're reading, loving, enjoying, watching, listening to. I'm of course listening to too many podcasts. I also started listening to audiobook. Oh, Strange the Dreamer. Yeah, I dip into that one every now and then because Lainey Taylor has the who is it? Steve somebody is the narrator. His voice is beautiful. So sometimes I get distracted with the voice instead of listening to a story. But Strange the Dreamer, my forever favorite. So anyway, coffee cheers to you. We'll talk more books and art soon. I made a beautiful mess in the studio this weekend. So Crayon Boxers, you have a new time-lapse video in the Crayon Box, the Hallie Gal Patreon. And it's June. So your Happy Mail vinyl sticker will be shipping this week. Would love to have you join if you're not yet in the Crayon Box for videos and behind the scenes publishing news and a great big conference I gotta get my butt ready for. So talk to you guys later. We'll keep in touch. Okay, love you.